Welcome into week 14 of the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market here with us, as he always is, as is Campbell McCready of Zen Studios in Fayetteville. Taping this on a Thursday, around midday, as we get ready for championship week in college football. A couple of games Friday, a bunch of games Saturday, all of the playoffs to be determined on Saturday. Then we'll get bowl bids out on Sunday. We'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back in a couple of weeks and we'll start picking some bowl games here on the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor. First of all, how are you guys?
Doing good.
As always, good.
All right, we're going to jump into the picks here real quick because I know everybody's got a busy day. First, Greg, what's going on at LB's as people start getting ready for Christmas parties, holiday parties, people starting to plan their Christmas meal, all that stuff? What are some of the things you're hearing from people?
Well, we, I just got done cutting a couple new tomahawk steaks. So I got a tomahawk in. If you want a nice big old tomahawk, I just got a loin in. So I trimmed up one of those. I had a couple people wanting sacks of oysters. I can get plenty of a sack of oysters from Murder Point in Alabama all the way up to Irish Points in British Columbia. So got a lot of different oyster options. So just call the store. They normally come $100 per sack, and I usually just do $140 for the sack. And I actually have some, oyster gear, gear for you. I ordered some from Amazon. It's just got 2 pair of gloves and a shucker and everything like that. So if you want to do some oysters, and then standing rib roast, beef tenderloin, a la filet mignon, but standing rib roast is very popular right now. And then I do a French rack of pork chops. So it's a whole rack that's Frenched out. It's really nice that you can smoke. So yeah, a lot of different things. But yeah, holidays, it's like a solid 2 weeks of it being slow, and then it picks up, right before Christmas. So just ready to close the year out, start another year, ready to go.
All right. Speaking of ready to go, you both had pretty decent weeks last week. There were a lot of weird games last week, hard to pick. Campbell, you went 6-5 last week, picking the 11 games. Greg, 1 game below her at 5-6. So you both hung in there. Campbell, you picked up a game in the overall standings. You're still 13 back, so you got a lot of ground to make up. Greg is 78-49, just a dominant performance this season. Campbell 65-62, so hanging in there. As we get into championship week, we start in Conference USA. I know a game that Campbell can't wait to pick. She gets to go first because she won the week. It's Western Kentucky, Campbell. They're a 1-point favorite at UTSA. That's University of Texas at San Antonio. This is a game that starts at 6 o'clock. I'm sure that everyone in the Kyo house there in Fayetteville will be glued to this one. CBS Sports Network, Western Kentucky -1 against UTSA.
I don't know. So I'll go with Western Kentucky. I have no reasoning here at all. I don't have even one of my tricks I usually do for this one. I genuinely just have no idea. So I'm going to go with Western Kentucky.
All right, Greg, she's going to take the Hilltoppers and lay the point against UTSA. What do you think?
I have to agree with her. I like the Hilltoppers here. I know UTSA kind of got their undefeated season canceled out last weekend against North Texas, and really played really got dominated. So I think I'm gonna go with Western Kentucky here. I like her angle that she doesn't. We don't have one.
Yeah, I don't have one.
It is hard to have an angle on Western Kentucky and UTSA.
I like their mascot. Maybe their mascot's pretty cool. It's like the
big red blob.
Yeah, the big red blob. Yeah. We're gonna go mascot angle on this.
Okay. All right. Got another a very popular mascot, the Oregon Duck. He'll be on the field on Friday night at 7. The game on ABC. It's the Pac12 Conference title game. Greg, the Oregon Ducks, a 3-point underdog versus Utah. This game's at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on ABC. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a pretty good game, honestly. Utah's been playing really good lately, and of course, Oregon's got a high-powered offense. So I don't know. I kind of leaning towards Utah here, but I like the Oregon Ducks here. So I'm going to take the points here. I'm going to go with Oregon.
All right, Campbell. These two teams got together earlier in the season, and Utah won handedly. Greg is going to take Oregon and the 3 points. What do you think?
This is another one I don't have an angle with. So what are Utah's colors? I'll go off.
They're kind of red and
red and white.
They mix in a good bit of
Some
silver,
black.
some black.
Yeah.
Oregon's the green and yellow primarily.
Okay, well, green's my favorite color, so I'll go with Oregon.
Okay.
Hey, I like that angle.
Yeah,
and I gotta like the mascot. I'm a big duck guy. I like that duck.
The Duck's a great mascot. Yeah. All right. I have a feeling I know where this one's going to go based on a couple of trends now. So we've got we head to Saturday's games. Campbell, this is the Big 12 championship game. It is Baylor and Oklahoma State. They get together in AT&T Stadium there in Arlington, one of your favorite haunts for football games. The game's at 11 a.m. on ABC. Baylor is a 5-point underdog against Oklahoma State. I'm going to guess here that you're going to pick Baylor because Baylor's green.
I forgot about my the state angle I went at last week. I forgot about that. And then I was going to pick Oklahoma State. I don't really know why, but then I realized that I guess I used my favorite color angle. So now I got to pick Baylor. So I guess I'm going with Baylor.
All right, she's going to get Baylor and 5 points, Greg. I'm disagreeing with her here, but I'm curious to see what you think.
Well, I think it's going to be a sneaky good game. I mean, Baylor's played really good lately, and have won some big games. And Oklahoma State just seems like they've been getting it done in somehow, some way. And they've got a good program over there. I like Oklahoma State here. I just think that it's just that their time, and for some strange reason, I really hope that they can win this game and cover the spread, and maybe they get in the playoff. But I don't know if that's an angle for them or not. But they're a good club.
Yeah, they are for sure. Their game against Oklahoma last week in Bedlam was just fantastic television. It was great to watch. All right, we go to the MAC, Greg. This is the MAC Championship Game, Ford Field in Detroit. Another 11 a.m. game. You can see it on ESPN. It's Kent State, Greg, giving 2.5 points to Northern Illinois.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored here, and I know there hadn't been a lot of points scored in that stadium in Detroit here lately. But I like the over with it. But with that being said, I'm going to go with the Golden Flashes of Kent State. I like Kent State here.
All right, Campbell. Greg is going to take Kent State, lay 2.5 points against Northern Illinois.
I'm gonna, these are kind of hard this week. I have no idea anything. I mean, but do I ever, I guess. So I'm gonna take Northern Illinois because of the state rule that I've created.
I do admire the adherence to the rules, even when you don't know whether these should apply to the rules or not. Because if you stick to that, if you stick to the process, sometimes the results come. It's all about process, although it is fair to wonder whether the process here is flawed. We now go out to the Western Athletic Conference. This is the WACC Championship Game, I think, or is this Mountain West? I don't know. Whoever. It's Utah State. Campbell, Utah State is playing San Diego State. This is a 2:00 game. You can see this on Fox. It's being played in Carson, California. Utah State, Campbell, is a 5-point underdog against the Aztecs of San Diego State.
I'll go with San Diego State. This is one where I don't have a reason. I've been to California, but I've never been to Utah.
There you go.
So There we go.
And plus the Utah State angle, that's a superior.
Of course, this is San Diego State. It's a battle of states that cancels each other out.
Yeah.
There's so many angles that we have to, make sure we get
look at all of
the
them.
right one. Yeah.
That's why not just anyone can do this show, right? I mean, it takes a certain degree you gotta.
I like San Diego State here. I like their, jersey. They usually have some nice jerseys, and I remember when Marshall Faulk was there, and they had like the all black jersey, red helmet, just said Aztec, and I'm going with the mascot angle this week. I like the Aztecs here over the Aggies.
Marshall Falk was a badass at San Diego.
Oh, that was a bad man.
Yeah, he was a bad man. He was a bad man with the Colts too. But I remember him at the college level. You were like, that dude is different.
I mean, Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State was unbelievable. I remember that Holiday Bowl where he just ran everywhere.
When I was a kid, the one I remember.
And Mike Gundy was the quarterback.
Yeah. When I was a kid, the one that I remember was Eric Dickerson at SMU. Like, dude, wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then the guy from Louisville that went to Oklahoma from Mississippi.
Marcus Dupree.
Oh, yeah. Some of his films were really awesome, too.
Yeah. All right. We go to the Sun Belt now. The Sun Belt Championship is a 2:30 kick on ESPN, Greg. It's Appalachian State at Louisiana Lafayette. Billy Napier's swan song there with the Cajuns. App State's a 2.5-point favorite in Lafayette.
Where is Billy Napier going?
Florida. He's the new. He's the new
that's,
Gator. Yeah, it's official. He'll start day one with the Gators on Sunday.
Okay, nice. Man, I for some strange reason, I don't know if I follow Appalachian State or I follow somebody that likes Appalachian State, but they'll show pictures of their stadiums, like their baseball stadium. So I like Boone, North Carolina. I'm going to go with that angle there. I'm going to go with Appalachian State. I like Appalachian State here.
All right, Campbell. Greg's going to lay 2.5 points on the road team here in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. What do you think?
I'll agree with him. I don't have anything else to say. I'll agree with him on this one. It's
beautiful country up there. There's no question. The picture of the baseball stadium there at App State is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They ought to be elite just for having that stadium. All right, we go to the SEC Championship game now, a game that I think we've all talked about a lot over the course of this season. It's Georgia and Alabama getting together at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This is a 3:00 kick on CBS. The Bulldogs, Greg, are laying 6.5 points against the Tide.
I just think this is Georgia's year. They just top to bottom, they're just so solid up and down defense. The offense is, almost kind of like Alabama-esque. They just get it done. They run the ball and, their play action passing. I just feel like it's Georgia's year. And if it's not Georgia's year, I don't know when it will be. It just seems like, watching that Alabama-Auburn game last week, it just seemed like, Alabama. I just knew Alabama was going to come back and win. There was just somehow, some way. And then whenever they downed them on the 2-yard line back to back, I was like, all right, well, maybe Alabama, will lose this game. But they, somehow, some way, always find a win to win those games and give them credit, for having character, for coming back. But I just think they're, not on Georgia's level right now. And I think Georgia probably wins by 2 touchdowns easy. I like Georgia a lot. All
right, Campbell, Greg's laying the 6.5 with Georgia. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with him. I actually watched the end of all the overtimes for the Alabama-Auburn game. So I'm going to go with Georgia. I'll agree with him.
Yeah, you heard your dad yelling at the TV upstairs going, "What are you doing?" I mean, I was so upset with Brian Harsin.
Yes.
I'm still upset with him. I'm not an Auburn fan. I have no ties to Auburn. I covered Auburn for 6 years. I know a lot of people there. Maybe I was cheering for them for that reason. It was kind of one of those days that CBS hit me in the feels at halftime when they talked about a couple people that I was friends with who've passed away recently. Cecil Hurt covered Alabama for the longest time for the Tuscaloosa News. And I was always a real admirer of his work. And when I got started at Auburn, Meredith Jenkins was the assistant sports information director at Auburn. And when Kent Partridge left to go to Texas Tech, she was promoted to media relations director. And Meredith was a fierce advocate of Auburn athletics, as she should be. And I was a media member who covered Auburn athletics very objectively, which sometimes meant critically. And we had our battles, but I always had a ton of respect for her. And she passed away fairly recently. And that game, that hit me in the feels. And from that point forward, I kind of got locked into it and caught myself really cheering for Auburn. And the game got away in a way late that if I'm an Auburn fan, it still bothers me to this moment. I mean, here we are 5 days later. It still bugs me the way that game got coached at the end. So anyway, that's my.
Yeah. Are you for the overtime, the new overtime setup?
No, I hate it.
I don't understand it. Like,
I despise it. It really bothers me. I've never liked the college overtime. I like the NFL style overtime where you kick the ball off, and I like the NFL style playoff overtime where both teams are guaranteed a possession.
Unless the first team receiving scores a touchdown.
I don't even like that. No, what I like is I like both teams get a possession, period. So if the first team gets the ball, drives down the field, scores a touchdown, you get the ball back and you have to match that touchdown. And then after that, it's sudden death.
Yeah.
But
no game should ever end in a tie.
But Brian Harsin absolutely, at the end of the first overtime, absolutely should have gone for two. They had a 2-point play. You know you're going to have to run a 2-point play. Run your best 2-point play with that offense on the sideline. It's much like Sam Pittman did against Ole Miss at the end of the regulation in the Arkansas-Ole Miss game. And it didn't work out for Sam Pittman, and it didn't work out for Arkansas, but it doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. It was absolutely the right decision for Arkansas that day to go for two with Matt Corral standing on the sideline. You go for two, and if you don't get it, you go, okay, good enough. But if you do get it,
I'll remember it. Just sitting there watching it, I was like, they're going to score, they're going to go for two, and they're either going to win or they're not going to win. And that's just, it doesn't matter if you're the home team or not. Like the home crowd is not going to pick, run the ball in for a touchdown for you. So you got to take your shot whenever that's available.
Everything is not about results. Sometimes things are about process. It's about making the right decisions. And if you make the right decisions often enough, the results will work out. Just because it didn't work out that day for Sam Pittman doesn't mean that he didn't have the right process of thinking going on in his mind. He absolutely did. And so Brian Harsin was the wrong process. And for him, process ultimately led to the wrong result. You go for two right there with the shot to beat Alabama and knock Alabama out of the playoff on one play with Bryce Young standing on the sideline. You do it. And he didn't. Yeah. And it bothers me to this moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, another thing is like the quarterback is on one ankle,
yes.
You can obviously tell that, they were only running certain plays just to where, that's the only play that they can run with them, and
yeah, why are you extending the game when every advantage is in Alabama's favor? You say, okay, here we go. One play right here. We're going to get it. And yeah. All right. Campbell, we go back to this is the American Athletic Conference Championship game. This is a game that has a major playoff what's the word I'm looking for? Potential here. Houston. Ramification is the word I was looking for. Thank you so much. Houston is at Cincinnati. This is the AAC title game. Houston is a 10.5-point underdog, Campbell. This game can be seen at 3:00 on ABC.
I'll go with Cincinnati. I don't really know why, but that's what I'm going with.
All right, Greg, I think she's right that since he's going to win the game, the question is, will they cover 10.5 points?
I think that's going to be maybe too many points. I think this is a huge game, and it's a lot of pressure on Cincinnati, especially, much less win the game, but, to cover the 10-point spread. It's got, big dollar amount on this game also for them, as a school alone. Getting in that playoff is probably huge for them. But I'm just going to play spoiler alert here. I'm going to go with Houston here and see if they can't maybe, squeak out a field goal win to really shake up the playoff.
That would certainly do it. Another game that could shake up the playoff is in the Big Ten title game. This is in Lucas Oil Stadium there in Indianapolis. It's Michigan coming off that big win over Ohio State. Campbell, you got that one right last week. Michigan coming off that win. They'll face Iowa, the mighty Hawkeyes, the nicest group of young men in all of college football. The Michigan Wolverines, Greg, are a 10.5-point favorite against the Hawkeyes.
I think this might be too much points. I don't know. Michigan, I watched that game. It was flawless.
Yes,
their offensive line literally, that set the tone, and you could just tell that, it wasn't happening for Ohio State, regardless of how good their quarterback was and whatnot. They're just on another level, and good for Harbaugh, because he was, he's been catching some serious heat for not being able to beat Ohio State, and big relief, and a big monkey off their back. But, you got to come back and, have that same, sort of intensity, because this is the game for all the marbles here, So I think the Hawkeyes might have a sneaky good right here, and it might be a tight game. It might be a low scoring game, and that just fits Iowa's playing style perfect. So if it's an under, I like Iowa's chances, and I'm going to go with Iowa in the points.
All right, Campbell, he's going to take 10.5 points in the Hawkeyes. Are you going to lay 10.5 with Michigan in this game?
Well, it worked for me last week, so I guess I'm just going to roll with that and go with Michigan.
All right, that should be a really good game. It's at Fox game, by the way, 7:00 on Fox. Another 7:00 title game. This is the ACC Championship game. This is a game that Ole Miss fans are probably watching a little bit because there's a decent chance you're going to get the winner of this one in the Peach Bowl if it comes to that. It's Pittsburgh against Wake Forest, Bank of America Stadium there in Charlotte. Pittsburgh, I think it's Greg. Is it your turn? Pittsburgh is a 3-point favorite against the Demon Deacons.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. I just think I don't know. Wake Forest had a really good year, and not taking away anything from Wake Forest. But for some strange reason, I'm pulling for Pittsburgh because I don't think Ole Miss has ever played Pittsburgh in football.
They played them in the bowl game in 2012.
Oh, yeah.
In Birmingham. Yep.
I forgot that. I was actually at that game. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad on my part. So, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. I just think they've, that quarterback's pretty solid, and just feel like Pittsburgh's the play here.
Yeah, two really evenly matched teams, two good quarterbacks. Campbell, Greg's going to take Pittsburgh and lay the 3. What do you think?
I'll agree with him. I always pick Pittsburgh because Dance Moms was
Dance Moms
there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's worked for me, but
it worked for me.
So we'll just go with that.
It worked for you with the Pittsburgh Clemson game. You got it right. Yes.
There you
go.
I
think I did I think we did another time Pittsburgh with
Tennessee.
Maybe Clemson.
Tennessee. Yeah, and you both took Pittsburgh. Yeah, so
there you go. Dance Mom
angle to the bank.
Panthers have been good to you guys. All right, last game, a meaningless game, but by God, it's on the schedule, and we stick with it. Yeah, USC, one final game with an interim coaching staff. They stole Lincoln Riley on Sunday. They'll play without him one final time on Saturday night. This game's in Berkeley against the Cal Bears. You can see it if for whatever reason you can't sleep Saturday night. This will be on FS1 starting at 10:00. Campbell, the Trojans of USC are 4-point underdogs against Cal.
I'll go with USC. I don't really have a reason. A celebrity that isn't the girl from Full House. Wasn't that the whole scandal with USC?
Yeah. That's correct.
She was her daughter was just on Dancing with the Stars, and I like her, so I guess I'll go with USC.
Okay.
Wow, she got a dance. She's on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, it's over now, but she was. I'm kind of surprised they let her on with all
the mom or the daughter?
No, the daughter. The one that was the one that got into USC through the rowing stuff. So
even though she didn't row.
Even though she did not row.
She was photoshopped in pictures, right?
Yes.
Wow. That's with that being said, I'm going to go with the Cal Berkeley Bears. I just it seems like USC is kind of a meltdown right now. So I like the Cal Berkeley Bears. I like the jerseys and everything, and big mascot. I'm a big bear guy, so I'm going to go with the Cal Berkeley Bears.
Yeah, I'm a big bear guy too. All right, you guys have some differences. Speaking of Bears, you got a difference in the Baylor Bears game. You got a difference in the MAC game. You've got a difference in the AAC game, in the Big Ten game, and then in the USC Cal game. So we could see a shakeup in the numbers a little bit. Who knows?
We got to have a guess. Apparently, we still have the bottle.
That probably should have been the game. Probably should have been the Cal USC game.
Probably, yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
sorry. That's me slipping on the sponsorship on Greg. So it should be.
The other one could have been Kent State, Northern Illinois. That's or Western Kentucky, UTSA. Any of those could be the Grey Goose game. Greg, real quick before we roll, tell the people how they can get in touch with you at LB's.
Always call the store 662-259-29999. or you get orders on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want a special order or a sack of oysters or something like that, just give me a call on Wednesday and I'll have it ready for you on Thursday. If you want to have it on Monday, just call me on Sunday. So we can get anything you want, special orders and racks of lamb and lamb shank and veal cutlets and stuff like that. Just let us know and we can get it ordered for you.
You got big plans this weekend, Campbell? Is it a party weekend in Fayetteville?
We have our tacky Christmas function tonight. I'm doing some laundry. That was just my laundry alarm going off. And then I'm writing an essay and that's all I got.
Okay. Well, have fun with Tacky Christmas and I'll talk to you soon. And thanks to all of you for making us a part of your week. Again, we'll take next week off and recover from a season full of picks and then get ready for some bowl picks and get into the NFL playoffs and all that stuff as it goes along. So be back with you in a couple of weeks. Until then, for Greg, for Campbell, I'm Neil. Take care.